Hey there, my name's Niandra, and after my video Akaku, I've been asked a lot about the various types of mercy jumps. I thought I'd make a quick video on how to do them along with pros, cons, and some examples of when they're used. This video will also feature my upcoming Superjump tutorial mode in which the game will do the jumps for you and state what keys are being used. The code and a video for this will be posted next week. Starting off, the Crouch Guardian Angel, and as the name suggests, simply press crouch along with GA. You will know if you did it right because there's a physical dip in your camera view. A while back, someone did a bunch of scripted tests and learnt that the most ideal timing is to press crouch 0.15 seconds before you press Guardian Angel. Now, don't be scared, we don't actually care about the exact timing. The main thing we take away from this is not to press Guardian Angel before crouch. You probably know that this is used for Superjump, but it's actually worth a lot outside of that as well. When you crouch GA and reach your target's position, if you jump early enough, you can do an extended bunny hop, which gives you a bit more height than the regular one. This is great for numerous reasons, but my favourite is when the enemy team is running with stun. A good Winston won't leap onto Mercy because he knows she can just fly away. Instead, he will jump as she flies, and Winston does a bit of damage upon landing. The extended bunny hop will allow you to jump over that and get more distance from him. Another thing to keep in mind is that Mercy's model flies very slightly lower during a Crouch Guardian Angel, which can be pretty useful to keep in mind in regards to some stairs. For example, if I GA to my ally above me here, I get stuck on the wall above the door, but a Crouch GA gets me smoothly underneath it. We'll come back to this in a moment, so let's move on to jumping off objects. Mercy can target her allies through an enemy, however, if one ends up in her flight path mid-flight, she'll hit them before pausing. If Mercy does an ordinary Guardian Angel and jumps after that pause, she seems to be launched to the side. A crouch one, however, will shoot her into the air. Make sure you're not jumping too early though, or you just lose momentum altogether. More common and easier to control, Mercy can also do something similar with terrain and props throughout the map. Both a normal GA and crouch one can make Mercy launch into the air, but the latter is way more consistent. Plus, a crouch GA makes Mercy more likely to get stuck on props because of the physical dip, so I always do that if I intend to jump. I appear to need the top half of my ally visible for this to work, otherwise nothing happens when I press the button. Here, I wanted to get onto high ground, but my allies were quite far forward. By bouncing off a prop, I'm able to get into the air much faster. Keep an eye on the environment and it becomes a great companion. With these two techniques, if you don't intend to jump, it's crucial to cancel Guardian Angel as soon as you realise they are happening. This is because the game still thinks you're in flight during the pause, therefore GA is still active so it doesn't go on cooldown. It will, however, if you cancel it, and if you flew into an enemy, getting away is probably a pretty high priority. Because of these two techniques being more consistent with a crouch GA, unless I'm looking to do a smaller slingshot, I'll quite often treat crouch GA as my default movement choice. Next, the budget super jump. This easy tech is done by using Guardian Angel on a target that is higher than you, then pressing jump when you're level. The steeper your initial angle is to theirs, the higher you will go. So if you target them from a slight distance, you'll get some height, but if you do it while sharply underneath, you'll get quite a bit more. You can also achieve a slightly lower version of this with a target that's level by walking towards them while aiming slightly above their head. When you get roughly 4 meters away, Guardian Angel and quickly jump. I admit the ground one isn't amazingly useful, but it's still worth knowing, and the aerial jump is fantastic. The main benefit is it's so simple, you're highly unlikely to mess it up during a fight, and if Superjump ever gets removed, we should still have this to fall back on. It also means very limited time flying horizontally, which can be really useful if you're being chased. The most common usage will probably be allies on the payload. Next, the Jump GA. This is basically the opposite of the crouch one where you jump, then press Guardian Angel to get a tiny bit of extra height while flying. Junkrat traps have a vertical height of 1 meter, so this won't help you when you're level, but if you jump GA off slight high ground, you can fly over a trap you otherwise wouldn't without it. Besides that though, I can't really think of any use for this. Next, the falling Soul Rez. The way Rez works is it checks your position versus the soul's position when the resurrection began. This means after you're locked into the animation, it doesn't matter if the soul moves away from you as long as you are within 5 meters of where the soul was when the Rez started. This then allows Mercy to res allies that died on moving platforms without needing to be on one herself. This also works with aerial allies like Farah if she happens to die while you're flying to her. However, if you try to drop with the soul, you will cancel res. Next, the super jump. When Mercy does a crouch guardian angel, she'll fly horizontally until she reaches 4 meters away from the position her target was when she began flight, not where her target is now. She will then begin to ascend before dipping onto her feet. That ascend is your window of opportunity, and pressing jump during it will launch Mercy vertically into the air. The later you leave it, the higher you will go. The sooner you do, the lower you'll go, which allows for a gradient of different heights to be achieved. One really important thing to remember with super jump is that the cooldown for Guardian Angel does not begin until you cancel it. So here I super jump, continue to hold down Guardian Angel, and I have to pause after hitting the floor for the cooldown to be finished. If I super jump and let go of the keys once I'm launched into the air, I retain momentum and it's ready by the time I hit the floor, meaning I can easily do it again. Pretty much everyone knows the pros and cons of super jump at this point. The one I always like to add is just be careful of AoE attacks such as anti-nade or dynamite, since you can potentially be pretty close to allies while doing it. Next, the Superjump Rez. I already did a quick video on this one, but the gist is your timing needs to be earlier than it would of a traditional super jump. Going back to the timing diagram, a max height super jump would be about here, while the window for a Rez lies here, slightly before Mercy's began to ascend and just as she started. The closer you are to Mercy's ascend, the higher you will go, but jumping too late will shoot her out of range. The closer you are to Mercy's 4 meter stopping point, the lower she will go. However, if you're too fast, she'll barely leave the ground. Again, please check out my Superjump Rez video guide if you want this one in more detail. Next, the aerial super jump, also known as a groundless or chain super jump. As the name suggests, this is when a player does a super jump without touching the ground, often in succession. You can achieve this by getting above your target and roughly 4 or 5 meters away horizontally, then dropping down until you're roughly level. When you're there, simply press Guardian Angel, quickly followed by a jump after that. One thing that can really help is knowing that Mercy's shoes make a clicking sound every time she hits the ground. Listen out for that, and if you can hear it, your timing is too slow. Another thing to keep in mind is that Mercy cannot GA to allies within 4 meters of her, so if you move closer to your target while on the way down, you may find you can no longer target them, resulting in a kinda stutter. This method is great for contesting objectives that have high ground surrounding them, like point B of 2 CP, as you dip briefly onto point then fling back up. Next, the Valkyrie super jump. You can already get pretty good height during Valkyrie by simply flying to an ally and pressing jump. However, this won't be super fast and Mercy will likely move a bit horizontally as well. Alternatively, you can make yourself level with an ally, walk towards them until you're roughly 5 meters away, press Guardian Angel and quickly jump. This will shoot you up faster at a much more steeper angle. This is great for quick liftoff, but carries the same risk as normally positioning high in the air with Valkyrie. Next, the end of Valkyrie Boost. Simply take the last technique we mentioned, but make sure the Guardian Angel part is done before Valkyrie ends and the jump is active as your ult finishes. This lets you keep pretty decent momentum. Be careful with this one because you generally want to spend the last few seconds of Valkyrie planning out where you're going to position once ult's over, since you won't have as many movement tools. That being said, this can definitely come in handy if your team has lost the fight and you're looking to fall back alive. And last of all, it's the inconsistent bastard known as backwards Guardian Angel, in which you're launched, well, backwards instead of forwards. The most basic way to describe it is you need to be as close to your ally as you can while still being able to use GA. You then need to be slightly above your ally, press Guardian Angel, and then quickly jump after that. Because you need to Guardian Angel while not on the ground, you can either jump or drop from high ground. Like I said earlier, try to listen out for Mercy's shoes since they can indicate if you're hitting GA too late. This technique is really inconsistent and I've been trying to crack the code for a while now. One thing I noticed is that jumping to the left side of the target while looking at them made it a lot more doable. Another thing that's been helping me is watching Mercy's jump when I do it, since the animation can be broken down into 2 parts. You've got the initial lift where Mercy's right hand enters the screen and the drop where it leaves. What I've been doing is I focus on this finger here. I try to time my Guardian Angel with when it's just about to leave the screen. And that's it for now. At some point, hopefully I can do a full video on backwards GA, kind of like I did with Superjump Rez, if I can find an in-depth way to clearly describe it. Again, I'll finish this workshop mode in like a week hopefully. Thank you so much for watching, feel free to check out my Patreon, and have a nice day.